But I feel like so often in the mirror we just look at our aesthetic. It's like, and not to be dramatic, but it's kind of it. It's like when you really look into who you are as a man or a woman, what do you say to yourself, or what does it say back to you? I know for my own life, good comes when I am myself. You know, and I feel like that's why I chose this profession too, is I get selfishly, I don't even know if I can cuss up.
You can.
Fucking love helping people, because I, in return, feel this spiritual connection to life. A lot of people don't know what the answer is, I've found, but their own ego gets in the way of being coachable.
Big topic that's come up a lot is mental health.
Yeah.
More and more on my show and in social media, people are asking me to discuss it more and cover it more. You know, I'm a believer that mental health is this huge spectrum. It's such a broad topic. It can be everything from suffering from some, you know, anxiety.
That's what I'm saying.
to worry.
It's a totem. Up here you have high achieving.
Yeah.
How do I go from 5 million to 20 million?
Right.
Right? Like, and you're right, it's all in the range.
Yeah.
The problem I feel like is everyone pulls them off instead of, like you're saying, just, we all have mental health.
Right.
There's just different levels of it. We all have financial health.
Right.
There's different levels of it. There's physical health.
Yeah,
like,
and one of the things about mental health that you and I were talking about off camera too is that you all should be working towards being healthier mentally, emotionally. Like, even if you think you're a really well-adjusted person, I feel like I'm a pretty well-adjusted person. I'm still reading and seeking mentors and relationships, associations, experiences that improve that part of my life. My physical body I'm trying to improve. I want to improve my emotional and mental well-being as well. And no matter what level you're, I think some people think, well, the mental health stuff's like for people who are like, you know, manic depressive or, you know, schizophrenic or, you know, they're suicidal. That's one part of the spectrum. There's all kinds of other spectrums.
Me or you could have a more poor mental health day than somebody who's 3 days sober.
What do you do for...
in theory.
No,
I haven't had one in a while, but...
I have.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think you're completely right. I have... One of the great things about people that are in recovery is what I would call almost forced self-awareness that begins to take place. The revelations and learning about oneself is one of the great gifts of recovery that sometimes people who don't need to go into recovery never get that gift of. It's just self-reflection, right? Could you share with us maybe some habits that you do daily or routines that contribute to your wellness mentally, emotionally?
Yeah, I mean, it's rituals.
Yeah.
I love ritual. I love a structure. So like, you know, I think for me, even before here, I go to your bathroom so I can look in the mirror and I go, just be yourself.
Yep.
I listen to music, but when I rolled down here, that made me feel like I could get outside of myself so I could actually be a vehicle for stuff. So like there's the simple things like that, and then there's...
Can you go back to that thing in the mirror? Because I've heard you talk about this before. I think it's powerful. Yeah. Can you talk about what you actually do when you do that? Yeah,
it's changed a lot.
Okay.
But I feel like so often in the mirror we just look at our aesthetic. It's like, and not to be dramatic, but it's kind of it. It's like when you really look into who you are as a man or a woman, what do you say to yourself, or what does it say back to you? And so I like to go to a mirror, and I often will drop to my knees in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Real quick in front of the mirror, like, you know, I try to make sure no one's watching me, you know? And then I pop up and I'll look at myself in the mirror and I'll just be like, you know, you got this, or be yourself, or just, you know, be my own coach. Because we're all human, we navigate life, and I say I drop to my knees for humility, just to be like, I don't have all the answers, okay? Hop up, look at myself, say something, and that's something I do before I go into do anything publicly, or anything where I feel like there's pressure, or anytime I feel like I may not be myself. Wow. You know?
Yes, I do know.
Because I want to be that. I want to be Superman. I want to be Merlin. Like, I don't want to, I know for my own life, good comes when I am myself. And I hear you talk about that in your podcast and on your show. And so, you know, look, there's the basics of gratitude lists, you know, which they work.
Yes, they do.
And I always will call people to ask, if I'm ever feeling completely obsessed with myself, which we all do, because you get what you put out, right? And so when we're self-obsessed, it's hard to get out of it because we're just obsessed with ourselves. And so what I'll do is I'll consciously call people and purely ask them how they're doing and not tell them how I'm doing. And I'll do that just to get out of myself.
Bro.
You know, and I feel like that's why I chose this profession too, is I get selfishly, I don't even know if I can cuss up.
You can.
Fucking love helping people because I, in return, feel this spiritual connection to life. You too, right? And so it feels good to do that. So I mean,
I want to acknowledge a couple things because it's just ironic. The reason I wanted you to tell that story was
I've not had anybody else ever share that. So I don't do it in a mirror, but before
and at first it sounds like a George Michael moment, and it's not.
No,
Okay.
It made it someone who's never done it
This is
before.
a bad joke.
But what it is no, I know exactly what you mean. No, and you can get away with saying that probably a little better than I can.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, I don't feel
Yeah.
that way. I before every show, every speech, any significant encounter I have, I hit my knees as well and say a prayer. And it's I ask, for God to, support me in that meeting and be my best self.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know that I use that exact word, but that's the thought. And every night when I pray, people ask me, how do you physically pray? I pray on my knees, and it's just a reason that it humbles me. It gives me a version of humility. So grounding, I literal grounding, right? And so I just want to second that because there's so many things we're covering. People go, yeah, that's a big deal for me.
Yeah.
The other thing that you do about calling people, we do it a little bit differently, but calling people and checking on how they're doing, I do that. But what I love to do, everyone, I'll give you you may think this is weird, but when I'm in a public place, I will find people regularly, about every time I'm out in public. I'm at a gym, I'm at a restaurant, I'm at a grocery store. I just randomly pray for somebody. Just peace be with you, or God bless them. And I just pray. I get out of myself and pray for the person. For some reason that gives me comfort, gives me strength, gives me humility. And I don't know why there's this as part of me that I just feel better when I'm helping someone somehow.
Oh yeah.
So that's my version.
Oh
of it.
man, if sometimes I'll go with friends, I'll be like, let's just give compliments. It sounds so funny. I've turned 40 next month, but I love stuff like this. You go to a grocery store and you literally are just dishing out compliments. And we'll make a little competition where we're laughing. But people love it.
Yes.
People love anonymous compliments. And it feels so good to give. And so it's fun.
I have an audio on that where I talk about if you want to change your state, start complimenting other people. First, it forces you to become a habitual observer of people's blessings and giftedness. And then it feels so good to give them that gift. And it's something that you may be the only person that year who will give them a sincere compliment about something.
Right.
You could completely, what a great looking tie, The guy ends up going home and I feel better about himself and he's nicer to his children that night.
Right.
Like it's just the ripple effects of these things. These are life hacks that matter. So thank you for that.
And I think that's why it's, for guys like us, it's not that fun to watch the news or watch politics because you don't see people lighting up other people's candles or their lights. You just see them blow it out. And so I think you have to create that environment like you're talking about where you're constantly in that flow.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So good. Okay, we're flying through this, unfortunately, because I'm loving this. But I want to ask you, so everyone wants to change something in their life. It's a baseline question. Someone listening to this say, gosh, I got these two guys there today. Ed, you better ask them this. What advice would you give somebody who just wants to create a change? It could be anything from, I've got an addiction and I want to fix that in me, or I've got a job and I'd love to start my own business. I weigh 50 more pounds than I want to. I want to transform something about myself. Can you give us some thoughts or actionable steps?
I think two things, which you know better than I do about setting a goal. And if you don't have a goal, there can't really achieve anything. So setting a goal, an intention and a goal of what you want, what is it, and by when, and having it be measurable and practical. So one is a goal, and then the other that I think, a few other things. I think having accountability, figuring out who can help keep you accountable, if there's anyone in your life. Is it possible, even if it's mom or dad, just checking out, hey mom, I want you to call me twice a week and ask me, are you making that 6 a.m., class, or are you, whatever it is. And then the other that I've found more recently, and I've gained so much benefit of it from Dr. Phil, is how coachable are you with your change? A lot of people don't know what the answer is, I've found, but their own ego gets in the way of being coachable. And a lot of people actually aren't coachable who think they're coachable.
Agree with you.
Right?
Yes.
And so, like, to me, in terms of change, it's so you're gonna do it alone if you're not coachable. Like,
Really
that's
good.
the truth.
It's really true.
Because no one wants to, if someone has figured it out and they're trying to mentor or lean in or give, and I've also, so many people I find want to give solutions because it feels good to help.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so it's just keeping that in mind when you ask. Most people, no matter how successful they are, they'll give you advice.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. If you'd like more, click the videos right here. They're exactly what you need to see next. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and become a part of the Max Out community. And tell me what you think about the videos in the comments below. I read all of them every week, and I select winners that get all kinds of prizes, gear, coaching calls with me. Make a comment.